And joining me now to discuss the visit and the latest developments on the ground is Major John Spencer. He is the chair of Urban Warfare Studies at the Modern War Institute at West Point. Major Spencer, thanks for being with us tonight. And first, I just want to get your reaction to Speaker Pelosi and other members of Congress showing up on the ground in Kyiv. What is the significance?
It's huge. I think with the combination of some of the events last week, it's a major sign that the policy has changed. U.S. is behind Ukraine until the end, like they said today. And that means a lot. Words matter here. So the visit matters and the words matter. And that really the Ukrainians have so much of the initiative at this point.
And will this Western surge in artillery and funding reshape the war?
Absolutely. It already has. Much of that artillery is already in the ground. And when they said that we're going to move at the speed of war, we're actually breaking history and how fast we're getting things to the Ukrainians so they can fight this war. But that artillery is reshaping the battlefield, and we're already seeing it. We're seeing long-range strikes on Russian forces, might have hit a Russian general even. Yeah,
we heard reports of that. A lot of Russian generals either being wounded or killed on the battlefield. And we've been watching the steel plant in Mariupol, which we just had the reporter on. That's a tricky situation because there are also so many civilians with the military members beneath that plant. How does that play out in your view?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a war crime what's happened up to this point. So I'm really happy to see some of them get out. But I mean, make no mistake, there's still 800 plus, if not more, that are still trapped in there. And I'm interested in why Russia changed their mind. Maybe it's because they just dropped a bunker busting bomb on a hospital inside that plant. So no matter what, you're supposed to protect civilians in war, even if it's underground urban warfare. We have a right to protect, and Russia's not following that.
Yeah, that certainly has not been the case thus far. Who is winning the war, in your opinion?
Ukraine is winning this war. Russia lost this war a month or plus ago when they failed to take Ukraine, failed to take Kyiv. But just in the momentum of this last week, 40 nations coming together to say, I'm behind you. You're fighting for democracy. Putin's trying to upset the global order if we don't stop him in Ukraine. I mean, Ukraine is going to have better weapons. They already have the better motivated, better trained soldiers. And now they have basically an endless supply of weapons, food, maintenance, things that you need to win a war. And Ukraine has that. I mean, Russia loses every day it's there. It gets weaker. I mean, Ukraine's winning by far.
And if Russia fails at this invasion, what are the consequences of that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's very concerning is what does Putin do next? As long as he's in power, he's never going to give up on contesting the borders of Ukraine. Some people think he might mobilize his whole country for war, but that puts him in a very, very thin political situation, which he's already in, to convince his entire population that they should go to war against Ukraine. I personally, the nuclear saber rattling, I don't think that's where we're going with this. And like our leaders, that's very dangerous, reckless talk. He really doesn't have many options. Of course, he's not just going to say, I give up, but he doesn't have many options left.
Yeah, well, we certainly hope that's not one of them. Major John Spencer, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.